All right, let's get into this. We're about to explore one of the most incredible stories of human ingenuity you'll ever hear. I mean, think about it. An entire nation literally decided to go to war with the sea and win. This is the story of the Delta Works, a project so massive, it's been called one of the 7 wonders of the modern world.
1,836. That's not just a number. That's the number of people who lost their lives in a single, terrifying night back in 1953 when a massive storm surge hit the Netherlands. This was a true national catastrophe, and it became the trigger for one of the greatest engineering projects in all of human history.
So, this was the question, right? The one facing the entire Dutch nation. It sounds almost mythical, doesn't it? When a huge part of your country is literally below sea level, how do you even begin to protect yourself? How do you build a shield against the ocean?
Okay, so to really understand the solution, we first have to wrap our heads around the problem. And this wasn't about just one freak storm. No, this was about a fundamental geographical vulnerability that put the Netherlands at constant risk. Now, the big bad guy in this story is the storm surge. And it's important to know this isn't just a big wave. Not at all. It's a literal mountain of water being pushed to shore by a storm, with enough power to just completely obliterate typical sea defenses. This is what caused that 1953 disaster, and this is what the engineers had to stop.
And this chart just lays it all out so perfectly. It shows you exactly why the Netherlands was in such a uniquely dangerous spot. I mean, look at a typical coastline. It's got natural high ground, maybe some cliffs for protection. But the Netherlands? A huge chunk of it is reclaimed land, sitting below sea level. It's basically a wide-open, low-lying river delta, the perfect target for a storm surge.
So faced with this existential threat, the Dutch response was nothing short of monumental. They didn't just rebuild what was broken, they completely redesigned their relationship with the sea. And that response was called the Delta Works. What's so wild about this timeline isn't just how long it took from 53 all the way to 97, it's what it represents. This was like a national promise. An entire country agreed on this one massive goal and then stuck with it for more than 40 years. Think about that. Across different governments, different generations, it's just an incredible testament to national will.
So, how'd they do it? Well, it wasn't with one single giant wall. It was this complex, interconnected system. We're talking huge dams to block off estuaries, sluices to manage all the water flow, brand new levees and dikes, and then the crown jewels of the whole system, these colossal storm surge barriers.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of how all this stuff actually works together. Because this was about way more than just building walls. This was about fundamentally re-engineering the Dutch coastline and turning a huge vulnerability into a managed, controlled system.
The engineers had this very specific, really clever goal in mind. They wanted to create what's known as a dynamic equilibrium. I know, it sounds a little complex, but the idea behind it is pure genius. It's all about working with nature, not just fighting against it. So here's the key. Instead of just building a static concrete wall that would seal off the sea for good and mess up the whole ecosystem, they built a flexible system. They created a coastline that could be open to the sea on a normal day, but could be completely sealed shut when a threat was coming. It's all about control, not just brute force. And here's what it looks like in action. So imagine the computers detect a dangerous storm surge coming. In this incredible automated sequence, giant gates, and I mean some of these are the size of skyscrapers just laid on their side, they get lowered into the water, and just like that, the inland delta is sealed off from the raging sea. It's such a powerful and elegant solution. But the story of the Delta Works is about so much more than just concrete and steel. It's this fascinating case study in how to balance the needs of people, the economy, and the planet itself. Of course, the number one benefit was safety. I mean, this whole project protects lives, homes, hospitals, roads, all the critical infrastructure. It safeguards the huge agricultural and industrial heartlands that are the backbone of the entire Dutch economy. Without this, modern life in that region would just be impossible. Now here's where the story takes a really interesting turn. The first plan was actually to just completely dam off one of the main estuaries, the Oosterschelde. But fishermen and environmentalists protested. They argued that doing so would totally destroy a unique and precious saltwater ecosystem. So the engineers actually went back to the drawing board. And this chart just perfectly captures the amazing compromise they came up with. It wasn't just about flood safety anymore. Look at that balance. While safety was still the top priority, of course,
Environmental health and economic stability became absolutely non-negotiable parts of the solution, and that forced them to invent something totally new, a barrier that could protect the people and preserve the ecosystem.
So this incredible project was finished in 1997, but the story is far from over. Today, the Delta Works faces a brand new, much more unpredictable challenge, our rapidly changing global climate.
And that's the reality of a massive hard engineering solution like this. It is not a one-and-done fix. It takes an unbelievable financial investment, it requires constant maintenance and upkeep, and a whole lot of complex politics to manage it. And most importantly, it now has to be future-proofed against rising sea levels, something that wasn't even a major concern when this whole thing began. And that leaves us with this final, really vital question. The Delta Works is this shining example of what humanity can achieve when we're faced with a crisis. But as our planet changes faster than ever before, is our engineering brilliance going to be enough to keep up? The Dutch tamed the sea once, but it feels like the battle is only just beginning.